What's up, YouTubers? This is J Dreamers coming at you with a video about commentary on the new video I just saw. I think we're all watching it, called There Is No Forest on the Flat Earth, or something to that effect. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you go watch it. I'm going to leave a link down at the bottom, so go check it out. It's a long video. The person that did it has broken English, but he has amazing information. And I hope that some people out there actually start doing a little mini version of his video for the people that can't sit through it that long. But if you can, you should. Anyways, I'm going to start off by saying about a year ago, I was driving on my way to Denver, and I looked out the window and I saw these mesas, right? There's a whole bunch on the way from Colorado Springs, where I live, to Denver. And I kept asking, why are they all flat on top? And why are they all flat at the same place? I mean, they pretty much look like they're flat right at the same height. I mean, all the way across the land that I was traveling. And it was bothering me. And actually, this subject has bothered me in hindsight, in my subconscious, in the back of my head. I've always had these thoughts. I didn't have anything to bring them to the surface until now. Now, if you've seen my video about the hidden history and the ancient world, I basically talk about how our real history, pre-recorded history, has been burned. All records of how life used to be and what the earth used to look like is all gone. And then I saw this video and everything started to click. You see those mesas that look like this one right here? Those mesas, from the evidence presented in the video, are ancient trees. Now, science tries to tell us, oh, well, it's lava and stuff like that. But there's something inside of us that tells us, no, that's not quite right. I believe that the ancient world, and I mean pre-recorded history, I mean Atlantis, I mean a time long forgotten that has fallen into the realm of myth and fantasy and legend, the time of the Titans, the time of the giants, the time of wondrous, fantastic animals and creatures and beings on this plane of existence that only people write about in science fiction novels or in movies. This was a time unlike anything most people today can even conceive of. The person in the video, I need to get his name, but the person in the video has compelling evidence that these mesas were once these giant trees. And he goes into detail about what he thinks that they were made of. But the huge thing about this revelation is that it brings up a whole new avenue of questioning. If these were once trees, then who sliced these trees? Who cut these giant trees down? Well, if there were giant trees cut down by somebody, I would guess that they were cut down by giant beings. Right? Now, we have all sorts of myths and legends and accounts and stories that giants were real. We have delegated them to myth and fantasy. And people wonder why I put so much stock in the breadcrumbs that movies leave behind. The movie Avatar, I believe, clearly shows us something that actually did happen right here, where you and I sit, right here where we live. But it was so long ago, and the world was so different, that we can't even start to comprehend the truth of it. I'm going to watch the movie Avatar with a brand new pair of eyes. And this blows my mind. But at the same time, it doesn't blow my mind, because this is something I've always known. This is something I've always felt, that the world I live in today is a constructed, leftover version of something alive, something magical, something fantastic, something so amazing and so filled with life. Man, I'm very glad that this video came up, and I hope that there are many, many more versions of this video that people will do on their own. So, the world used to be so much different, and many things in this world used to be so much bigger than they are today. Today we have a little tiny version of a world. We have a fake, desolate, desert version of the world that we used to have. Our world has been torn down, and it is continuing to be torn down. I'm going to be researching and studying giants even more than I ever have. I'm going to be looking into this topic, and I hope that you all look into this topic as well. It ties right into the flat earth. It ties right into so many questions that we've had about who, what, why, when. And a lot of ancient books touch on this very subject. And it's so amazing. These things have been so hard for us to even comprehend, to even think about it. I mean, I used to look at this. This is called Devil's Rock or something. And I just thought it was strange, but I never gave it a second thought. We live in a time now where our minds are expanding at an exponential rate. Our spirits are growing. I can feel it, and I know everyone else out there who's waking up can feel it. There's something called the 100 monkey effect, and I am sure that it is in full swing right now. There are so many things to talk about, so many subjects that this brings up. The world that we used to live in, re-looking over old texts, re-examining old manuscripts, old stories. I don't know if I can look at legends the same way again, or ancient stories. I've always known that there's a breadcrumb of truth in these ancient stories, these myths that we've been told, and especially in many movies that are out today. I mean, look at Jack and the Beanstalk, right? You've got this beanstalk-like giant tree thing that grows up into the clouds, into the sky, where the giants live, right? I mean, these structures, these trees, and it's not just trees. This extends into all forms of life now. Thankfully, we have the remnants of some of these amazing ancient giant trees that are just laying everywhere as proof. And I'm sure that as we continue investigating, we're going to find more proof for even more fantastic things that coexisted along with these trees. Amazing beings, amazing life. And I think it's going to take us back to the connectedness and the oneness that we used to have with all things. I think it was a system, but not a system like we have today. I think it was an interconnectedness that nature had with itself, that we all had with everything. Anyways, I'm almost at a loss for words. I'm so excited to have come across this because, today on my lunch break, I went outside and I just looked at the mountains. And I thought about the mountains, and I thought, you know what? I never gave the mountains a second thought. I just always assumed, that the tectonic plates pushed together and boom, they made mountains. But then I started thinking, well, there's no earthquakes right here along the Rocky Mountains where I live. That's where there should be the most earthquakes, where all these mountains are formed, right? Because they're pushing together. And I started re-examining volcanoes. I mean, volcanoes on the outside, if the lava's coming up, then the whole volcano should be made out of lava, out of hardened lava, but it's not. And I don't want to speak prematurely on too many things, but I always knew it. I always knew it. I always knew that this world is vastly different than what it used to be. No wonder I look around and I'm so bored with the world that I live in. Because it's been torn down and torn apart and sold off and reconstructed into what it is today. And I'll leave you guys with this thought. There's a reason that this is coming to the surface. There's a reason that we are becoming aware of these things. I think the pendulum swings one way and then it swings right back the other way. So I'm kind of excited because I think that the direction this is going is from this back to that. I think there's a possibility that we can, I don't know how long it might take, but I think we can get back to the way things once were. I'm very excited. Exciting times right now. We live in a very exciting moment in history where all of us out there are just having these ideas. We're seeing everything completely different. We're actually forgetting all of the lies that we've been told. Which is a good question. Let's look into why we've been lied to. Let's look into who lied to us. Let's look into why. Let's look into how it was done. And let's look into ourselves. I mean, we must be very powerful beings, or very important beings, to have all of this put on us. I mean, this is a huge effort to bring us down. It must be because we're worth something. It must be because we're that important. And it's that important to keep these things hidden from us for so long. So I encourage everyone to get out there in the world, go about your daily lives, but look at everything. Look at the mountains. Look at the water. I mean, this is so beyond, your little conspiracies that have trickled down from these things. I'm just really excited. And I'm going to stop making this video right now. I'm going to go post the link. Please watch it. Please don't skim through. Just watch the whole thing once in its entirety. And I might make a Cliff's Notes version of it in the future with my own, my own commentary. I appreciate the guy that did it because he tried really hard to make his English as best as he could. I think I might make one, with my own commentary. I encourage you guys to make your own, and by all means, add things that you've noticed. Add things that you pick up along the way. Let's put this story together. This is Jay Dreamers. I'm excited. And I can't wait to talk about it with you guys. Thanks for watching.